Is your marijuana use an addiction or just a bad habit? You might be wondering this question, and I know I did when I was in the process of quitting weed. I was like, guys, this can't be an addiction. I don't even know what an addiction is. I know I just do this here and there, once in a while, all the time. And I don't know how to quit, whatever, but it's just a habit, right? This can't be an addiction. I'm not under a bridge. I'm not like, my hair's not falling out. I'm not, going to jail or anything. Like no way this is an addiction. So first, I really had to distinguish what the difference between a habit and an addiction was. In my eyes, a habit is something that one does on a regular basis, and it doesn't cause too many consequences, let's just say. So for example, drinking a cup of coffee. Another example, reading before bed. Even healthy habits like going to the gym, eating well, right? Like these are not things that are just gonna completely implode your life, obviously. And another point of this is that they can be stopped pretty much at any time. I know that if I want to take a break from the gym, I can take a break from the gym, right? I'm not gonna die or whatever. If I decide not to read before bed, it's gonna be okay. I'm not gonna go through withdrawals or anything like that. And that's really the big distinguishing factor between a habit and an addiction. An addiction is something that causes harm to one's life when there's the knowledge that it is causing harm. So it's like, I'm doing this behavior, for example, smoking weed every night, and I'm just seeing that it's slowly deteriorating my life. The big distinguishing factor though between a habit and an addiction though is that you can't just stop it. You can't just say, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna take a break from weed and do something else, right? And then you don't even think about it. Usually, if something's an addiction, there's a lot of pain that is associated with and comes from stopping of the behavior or substance. I know the first times I tried to stop smoking weed because I was smoking pretty regularly. It sucked, man. It hurt. I couldn't sleep. My appetite was gone, irritable, moody, just on the verge of tears at sometimes, just because I had been smoking so much weed that it was just completely changing my whole reality. And because of that, I would relapse and then go back. And so that's another thing with the habit is like, if I stop reading before bed, if I decide to read again, it's not really considered a relapse, right? It's like, oh, I just decided to read again. Now, on the vice versa, when I was smoking weed and then I got like a week off or whatever, and I would slip back, I would classify that as a relapse. And then the issue was that I would be right back to where I was, using every single day, not being able to stop, consuming copious amounts of marijuana. And my life, again, just started to deteriorate. So I think that's the big difference between habits and addiction. Habits are something that can be stopped right away. They're just they can even add value to one's life. An addiction is something though that has consequences and that is very difficult to stop. And if one restarts again, it can really start leading the person down a negative path. And before they know it, it's like, what just happened? Like, my life's imploded. So when I was quitting marijuana, and my invitation for you is to really think about this as well. Am I able to stop marijuana and not even think about it? No pain associated with it, kind of just like, oh, that was fun, I'm done now. Or is it something that, okay, this is gonna be really hard, like even thinking about it is kind of scary. How am I gonna do this, etc. So another important factor to consider is that habits can become an addiction. And that's what it was like for me. So when I started, I was smoking once a week, just with friends. It was a lot of fun, right? All the good times. That's really kind of my fond memories from marijuana were at the beginning. And I could, smoke once a week and then stop and not think about it. And then the weekend would come around or whatever day we would smoke. And I'd be, oh yeah, like that was pretty fun. I forgot about that. Let's do that again. And that was when it was just a habit, right? I could stop. I could even go a couple weeks off and not even think about it, go to school, etc., do my classes, what have you. What happened though was that it slowly started to pick up pace, right? So it started from once a week, then it went twice a week, then it went 3 times a week. Then it was like, okay, I'm gonna smoke once in the morning, right? 3 times a week, once in the morning. It was like, looking back, it's like, uh-oh, going into slippery territory there. However, I didn't think anything of it, right? It was still a habit, right? I was doing it once in a while. I wouldn't do it all day, every day. And then that started to happen. I would start smoking all day, every day. But I would only do that a few times a week, right? And then you guys can get where this is going. And just before I knew it, it was smoking every single day, sun up to sundown. And so what started as a habit became an addiction. And so that's something to invite you to consider in your life as well. Is that happening to you? Did it start as a fun, just kind of hobby, doing things with friends, recreational, to where it is now, where it's like, okay, I have to smoke to feel normal. I have to smoke to even get out of bed in the morning. that's probably a sign that it's gone from a habit to an addiction. And from there though, you might be saying, oh shit man, well thanks for that. Now I realize my addictive personality is manifesting in marijuana. Great. So what do I do? So there's a lot of things that one can do to work on this, to mitigate it, and to get on the path of recovery, sobriety, and to find freedom from marijuana. A few things are to go into support groups. There's a lot of free online support groups out there, from Buddhist meditation groups to traditional support groups. I can't say their names, but put 2 and 2 together, you can probably figure it out. Also like online communities and stuff. So first off, I'm gonna link a resource down below. It's free. You just put in your email, name and email, and it has over 25 different free online resources, meetings, YouTube channels, books, movies, etc. that you guys can check out that might really help you. First, help you understand the addiction, recovery, sobriety process better, so you can better take action. And 2, just to get you some help right away that's not going to cost any money, etc. This is what I did when I first started out. I got into free support groups and I stayed with them for a very long time. They helped me. I wouldn't be where I am today without it. The second thing is that I invite you to join our new private community. It's called The Circle, the Sobriety Circle. And this is a place where you can come, you can connect with other people that are in the recovery space just like you. You can talk to them, you can get to know them, even plan meetups, etc. And this is just a great place to, again, surround yourself by people who are also in the recovery space. There's a saying, your vibe attracts your tribe, and then that you become like the people you surround yourself with. This is a saying, these are 2 sayings that I take with me to heart every single day, that I know that if I'm hanging out with people that are on the path that I want to be on, I'm just going to naturally assimilate to them and take on some of their habits and traits, and vice versa, because as humans we want to belong, we want to integrate, we want to connect with the people that are around us. And I know I found when I was hanging around with people that were smoking weed all the time, I wanted to be like them. So what do? I would smoke weed. And this wasn't like, oh, it's their fault, like they're pressuring me to do it. No, this was totally my decision. The beauty of that though is that when I got into recovery, it's like, okay, I'm going to choose to hang around people that are in recovery, that are working on themselves, that are in sobriety, that are taking good care of themselves. And in turn, it just kind of rubbed off on me, and now that's how I live my life. So some other awesome perks of this community is when we do our lives, we're going to have an after show where you have VIP access to. You can come in, talk to us, we can have you on screen. My friend Kim and I from Full Circle Sobriety, I'll link her channel down below as well. I have a couple of videos with her that we've done. Maybe I'll put those instead. And check those out. She's a great gal. We have a really good connection, and we're really looking forward to bringing recovery into the masses, and just, we love talking about it. So you'll get to talk with us one-on-one. We can just kind of rip it, talk about some stuff that maybe like a little more personal that we wouldn't really want to share on YouTube. The last big one I'll share with you is that within the group, let's say you have an issue or something. You're like, how do I deal with this marijuana problem? Write it in the chat, comment what's going on. People can reach out to you and share their experience as well. And then also, if Kim and I are around, we'll hop on a Google Meet with you, like a one-on-one call. Other people can join too if they want, and we can really just talk about it and just discuss it, and that'll be included with the membership as well. So if you want to sign up for the membership, it's gonna be $27 a month. You can sign up with the link down below. We'd love to get to know you, love to meet you, love to have you part of the community, and again, grow on this recovery journey together. So guys, with that, comment down below if you have any experience with what I've been talking about today. Like, comment, subscribe, and talk to you soon. Peace.